like there was a time during my first class, literally, after I showed everybody how we can really easily isolate monokaryons, right?
Right.
I literally had to be careful not to isolate mons when just doing transfers from dikaryotic plates. It's like it was like that's interesting shit. You know what I mean? Like how long and how much research people do in order to just be able to isolate a monokaryon and say I fucking did it, I'm the shit. Like that's not an easy thing, regardless of what technique you're using. You're advanced now officially. You isolated them on intentionally, and
definitely.
it got to the point where it's like I was so connected with it in that way that it was just like giving me mons. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It was
no,
like
totally.
I'd isolate a part of what's that?
No, totally. You were locked in.
Yeah, but it's like I was trying not to at that point. Like I had to make sure I isolated rhizomorphic growth when doing a transfer. And then it started to happen to other people in the class, and it was like, wow, that's a trip. You know?
Well, what you taught is, obviously true and working. Do you know what I mean? I know there's a lot of skepticism about your technique. They obviously work, don't they?
Well, it's not debatable anymore. There's no, and I've yet to have any of these people who say that it's not happening debate me. And every single one of them, I say, platform of your choice. We'll let the audience decide.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you don't see anyone on your disagreeing, do you?
No, you don't. No one ever disagrees to me. They always disagree behind my back because they've seen what happens when you disagree with me in public. Like I'll go off. I'll say, actually, check this out. So, and then they're left with their foot in their mouth. And it's not that I'm better or anything. It's just like this is how it's done, dude. And here's the photographs of the microscope. If that's what you need, I use a microscope here. Check it out. Those are monokaryotic if you know what you're looking at. So it's not really debatable at all. And it's not like it's anything new because nature's been doing it since the beginning of mushrooms. It's something that we're utilizing something that happens naturally versus forcing it to happen, which has always been the mainstream way. Is you send your dikaryon to a lab and they break it in half and then they rip off the cell walls, isolate the protoplasts, separate them in bovine peptone and regrow a cell wall. And hopefully it's not too damaged, but if you regrow that cell wall, you have what's called symmetrical recovery, where you have both the haploids that were a dikaryon, and now you can use those to breed. And you know that they are going to be the best candidates for a breeding program because of the mushroom that you isolated there. What I do is I just put that in water and stress it so that it grows monokaryotic colonies. And that's what happens in nature. It's probably a defense mechanism just for survival so that the genetics are more equally distributed during times like a flood or something. It makes a lot of sense as to why there's such diversity in Australia and these places where our homies are getting these spores and sending them back to us, because there's a lot of flooding that goes on there every couple of years. And it really just like mixes everything together. Because monokaryotization is happening when that happens. It's happening all over. So if you have a colony of mycelium that's growing a patch of cubes and flood hits it, all of those dikaryons that got carried away in the flood are now growing two separate monokaryotic membranes that are getting torn up by the flood and going everywhere. And those are going to breed with phenotypes from another part of that country or whatever, even from the world. Other islands around it have cubenses that have spores. The wind picks them up, it carries them. They travel around the world. They can get clear up into the atmosphere, and then come back down whenever they're ready. And then it just diversifies the gene pool.
I see Wise Caps is type in. Do you want to jump in here, bro? Sick.
It says Moondaddy. Somebody's saying something. I'm trying to get into this. Moondaddy, your favorite vendor. What the fuck? Let's see.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yo, what's good, bro?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
So I have a couple questions. I just hopped in. I don't know if I missed some information here. I just recently picked up an amp scope, and last night I just nerded out, stayed up all night messing with it. Super fun. And I want to get more into isolating just working the genetics deeper, and I guess, and I also have people that I wanted to ask questions here, but they couldn't figure out what time this was going to start, even though I sent them all the info. So I gathered some questions from them too, which was pretty cool. Uh, Basic questions like, do monokaryons always grow their mycelium in, I guess, like a tomentose form? Is that true? That
Yeah.
they only grow
No,
tomentose?
it's not true. That's not true. They can
No.
grow. It's a type of rhizomorphic growth. I forget what it's called, but it looks rhizomorphic. Pan-cyan very rarely grow rhizomorphic growth, even as a dikaryon. And I have a monokaryotic pan-cyan, the young guy from Australia right now that I just got last night. Well, I just verified it last night. That is very rhizomorphic. It's interesting, right? But it's
That's
acting
pretty
like
cool, yeah.
it's acting like a mon, going very slow, growing very uniform but sporadic at the same time. It's yeah, and cubes too. A lot of your monokaryons, if you look at it close, it'll be more rhizomorphic than what a normal tementose cube culture would look like. Just where it's just all fuzz, It's basically your individual cells aren't really stretching, They're just kind of like bunching up together, even if it's a dikaryon. But the monokaryons don't have to be tementose. Usually, they always look like it, especially from farther away. But with the trained eye, and you get closer, a lot of these you'll see the rhizomorphic growth. It's just super thin,
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
I'm writing some of this down just so I can get back to some of my buddies that were asking questions too.
Mm-hmm.
Scheduling didn't work out with them.
That's fine.
Yeah,
They can
we're going
always
to be
watch it.
doing this every Saturday, so who knows? Maybe next week they can jump in and listen.
Yeah, I try to share this too, because man, these people that take advantage of this, man, trying to picking your guys' brain is perfect, because I don't think you can have a better setup like this. Hop on, ask your questions, and I feel confident that your guys' answers are accurate, as opposed to digging through Reddit and just a bunch
Yeah.
of hearsay. I feel so. I feel like your
Well,
guys'
who not?
answers are always spot on.
Yeah, well, who not
Yeah,
better to speak to about Mons and Dies than Moon? Come on, man.
That's, man, I get lost watching some of his videos and pictures. It's crazy. It's crazy. Love all the stuff you guys push out. Um, Also, I guess right now that we're talking about pans, um, I'm about to, I guess, get my first pan grow started, and I'm going with Creel that I ended up getting from Willie Myco. It's a LC that I got from him called Creel.
skills. I think.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was talking. I don't know if you guys was my mic out. It's I couldn't hear anything.
You've been quiet
I couldn't hear you.
for a minute or so, yeah.
Yeah, so I was talking. I was rambling, but then it's like
Damn, bro.
I was like, it's all good. I was just saying that I love it when I get asked questions I don't know the answer to, because then you can look into it and try to figure it out. You know what I mean?
For sure.
For sure.
Because I definitely don't know
So
everything. Learning every day.
No, of
that's
course. I know a lot of it comes down to self-guidance and figuring out what works for you. But
Yeah, nobody's
I
gonna do it
gotta
the
agree
same.
with Wise Caps. It is good to pick the expert's brain every once in a while.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why I'm here, man. I'm here because I believe in it. There's no way in
Yeah,
hell I'd be doing this shit the way that I am if I didn't. So,
I know you
something that
mentioned
I
pan, but
mentioned.
one of the boys here got an issue with Jack Frost and fruiting troubles. Have any of you got any guidance on that?
Yeah, I want to see a picture always.
It's
That's the
more
main thing.
so just fruiting troubles, apparently.
So what does the cake look like? Is it dry? Is it overhydrated? How are the walls on your tub or your bag? How deep is the substrate? What's your ratios? You got any sort of hyphal knotting? Have they fruited it all and just aborted? There's so many things that I could see just from looking at a picture. That's the thing. Like Jack Frost
Yeah,
is a difficult strain. Is a difficult strain in general. I will
I've
say
never
that.
fruited it myself.
The one time that I have, it wasn't easy. It was very, very, really tested my patience. But then it finally grew like they always do, you know, and it was good. Beautiful fruits. Didn't have a desire to grow it again, but really cool, very different. You know, the stems are very woody, and cap's very stormtrooper-like, really pretty blue. You know,
Yeah.
I think that there's obviously there's some that are going to be better isolations that are easier to grow. But I think some of those earlier generation Jack Frost were just really difficult.
Oh, what about reverts?
Jack Frost reverts?
Uh-huh.
I've never seen it.
Can't say I have either, to be honest with you. Uncontrollable spiral, just ask. No. What is it? What is the revert of Jack Frost?
Jack Frost is 8 crossed with A plus, I believe. So albino Cambo and
Okay.
ape, I think, and I think that it's Wombat is who did the original cross. I'm not sure if it was Wombat who just like made it big,
Who,
or
Dave?
if it was him who did the original cross. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me?
The OG.
Yo, what's good, Pete?
How you doing?
Yeah, good. You?
Sorry, I'm late. Sorry, I'm late. Been a late one.
I'll allow you to take over now.
Take over. I thought you was killing it.
Yeah,
I've been listening to you.
Can we get MyCsee in here as well? How do you get Mike in here?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Why is MyCsee not in there?
Gosh.
Let's have a look.
And then Azure,
Zeke's here too, look.
Matt ACS, Cave Culture's not in here.
Yo.
Yeah, there he is.
You taking a nap, bro?
No, I'm out of it. I'm good. I'm back down.
How do we get ACS in here?
That's
The
what I was
bag
just trying to
master.
do now.
Okay, cool. The bag master. I don't even dare post pictures anymore because Matt's just gonna up me with some shit.
His bag's a killer, isn't he?
God damn it, yeah. And he's a perfect example of somebody who did everything right the first time. Like he's only been growing for like a year, I believe. And you know, I've talked to him and people ask him what the fuck, you know, because they think he's been growing a long time. And he said, you know, I just surrounded myself with smart people. He said that he saw the playing field and then he, you know, put himself around excellence and then he produced excellence. I was like, damn, that's smart.
That's why I want you guys talking to everyone.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who Moon was until like probably 6-7 months ago, honestly. And then when I seen his bags, I was like, "Oh shit, okay, this is my goal right here."
Yeah. Hell yeah.
What was your other question, Wisecap?
Yeah, it was about pans.
I thought he was on monos. I thought he was talking about, you know, when you guys was talking about the Australian wilds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the first question I had asked was if monos always or they normally tend to grow mycelium tomentos. That question was answered. And then I did have a question about pans. I want to get into my first pan grow. Been wanting to do it for a while. It's just getting started and just looking up how to do it, I guess, the right way. I know they're a little bit sensitive to temperature. The casing's a little different, slightly different, you know, slight differences, but obviously very much possible. And I'm going to go ahead and start with Creel that I picked up from Willie Myco. Any recommendations?
On creating an environment?
Yes. Let me be more specific. Yes, I guess in regards to the environment, I've already, I guess, followed one of his videos for the substrate and his casing, and for the grain. I wanted to ask, am I able to put pans
Any
onto
grain works.
any grain work?
Yeah.
Now, what about
See, my
environment?
thing is my take on pans isn't a popular take either. I think that they're No more difficult than cubes, honestly. If people are having issues with contamination because you're switching up the strain or you're growing a more finicky strain of cube or whatever, it comes down to, well, you're not clean enough. You know, you got to get fucking clean. It's not, has nothing to do with skill. If you're going to go through it and run through it several times and contaminate before you finally get it right, at the end of it, you're going to look at your whole thing and you say, oh, damn, what I did different is I'm a lot more tidy. You know, I'm very more precise with everything. And that means everything's clean as well. Other than that, you know, you've got your substrate. I don't believe you need horse poop. I think that that's a crock. I don't think it's going to do anything for you other than probably create potential hazards. I think worm castings is horse poop on steroids, and it's better and it's cleaner, and it's not going to drop your pH ridiculously fast with nitrogen and kill your grow. So I use worm castings. Other than that, you got to have a casing layer, make sure it's nice and wet, and then have the temperature up. As far as air goes, you know, put a humidifier, a fogger on a timer in a tub with maybe a computer fan on it. A timer, make sure you keep it above 95 RH.
Above
This is the
95.
mainstream, what relative the humidity above 95.
Yeah.
Fairly consistently for normal pads. Some of them are difficult and you've got to switch things up at certain times, you know. But it's like if you're getting TTBVI, you can grow it in a bag, most likely, or you can at least train it to if you follow a planning program. The genetics will fruit in bags very easily as long as you train them a little bit. TTBVI is the easiest mushroom I've ever grown, and that's literally one of them as far as even cubes, because no matter what, even if something goes wrong, at the end you're still going to get something. Like it grows, you know, it's not going to just sit there and do nothing. But yeah, you can go TTBVI in a tub normally, just like a cube. Just use a casing. You don't even need to up the temperature. I fruited Komodo TTBVI this winter at like 68 degrees in a bag. So
nice. Yeah, you have to be one of the, I guess, first people that I've heard say, yeah, it's not that hard. Everyone, I don't know, I feel like everyone hypes it up, or I don't know. Just try to...
They hype it up, dude. That's all it is. And I'll go on the pan forums and whatever, and I'll say, you're full of it, dude. You don't, it's not difficult. Quit telling these kids that and try to be the only one who can do it, because it's not true. It's not that hard. Really, do you look at the process between what you use to grow a cube, the tools that you use and everything start to finish? You make grain, you inoculate it, you grow it in a substrate. You know, some of you use a casing on cubes. Do the same thing. Oh,
I think a lot more people would be doing the exotic sides. People didn't make it out to be so daunting.
Yeah. Well, the problem with the people in the exotics cult, okay, it's a cult. Trust me, it's a fucking cult. They probably were never too good at growing cubes.
Interesting.
And yeah,
I'm just saying,
feel
it's like they act superior, like they're a superior grower, right? But it's like, hey, come and do what I do, dude. You know, and I'll do what you do. We'll switch it up for a day and see what happens, because you're staying over there in that side of things and just like drooling over spores that are new species that honestly, like, we'll never cultivate. You know, it's cool that you're doing that. That's fun, but it's like, it doesn't make you a superior cultivator. The way I feel like the energy from that side of things comes off and is projected onto people who grow cubensis. Like the whole like, oh, it's a cube is a cube. It's like, hey, dude, a pan is a pan. It's all the same. Like, yeah, you're right. Quit saying your pan's
about gourmet?
A different strain. What's that?
So more about gourmet. Have you run any gourmet before?
No.
Yeah.
Never. I'm just not interested. Yeah, never have. Only Sykes.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, isn't it, gourmets? I haven't done them either. I've got a load of on long-term storage, but yeah, I just never got round to doing it.
If I had the time, I would love to grow some and eat them. You know what I mean? And I probably do and have had the time, but
yeah, you don't prioritize it as much, do you? I suppose it depends what your priorities are.
Say it again.
It depends what your priorities are, and obviously yours definitely aren't trying to find gourmets. And I think even for me, it was more of a I'll get to it when I get to it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, I have a quick question, if you guys don't mind, hopefully answering. How you guys been?
Okay.
All right. So sticking to pens, right? And it is like quotes. So that's why I'm rather ask you guys and go around and ask people. So I'm trying to grow some Angel-it. I think that's the name of it. And I run. Yeah, and I usually run Dubtex. That's my favorite way to grow. And I have had some contamination, so I'm okay with it. But do you guys train your genetics on agar like to be more resistant to contamination and keep doing transfers?
No. Contamination.
We train him to understand. We train him to understand what grain you're going to put it to, so that way that they colonize it faster, which cuts down on the probability of contamination because it's taking too long to colonize the grain. So yeah, we do it in that sense.
Okay. Now talking about grains, I want to fuck around and find out. Pardon my language. I have a huge bag of bird seeds. Has anybody tried using those from the store?
Wild bird seed.
I'm sorry.
Wild bird seed.
Like blue, like rye. I think it is. It's mixed with rice, sunflower.
So I just ran bird seed this morning, and you can definitely do it. And typically, what you want to do is bird seed's got a lot of sunflower seeds in it, and the mycelium has a hard time kind of penetrating that.
Okay.
But if you get bird seed that has a mix of milo and millet, you can put it in a colander and shake it, and the sunflower seeds will get left over because they don't fit in the colander. And it's a good way to get grain in a pinch from the grocery store or something like that. And it's fairly cheap. And sometimes you can find like a 20-pound bag of fucking bird seed for like $1.99 at the end of the season. And really the only problem with it is that it's dirtier than when you get it like whole sourced or organic. So you've got to wash it. And what you should do is put it in a bucket after you sift through it and get the sunflower seeds out. It should be thrown in a bucket, and then you stick the hose in it and let it spill over. And that'll get most of the sticks and shit out of it, because you'll see, like, when you start using that there's a lot of chafe and whatnot in there, and sometimes there's even fucking rocks in it, you know. That's the only thing got to watch out for. But it sure as shit will colonize. You know, do it at 70% when you're cooking NSNS. It doesn't really need a whole lot of hydration in it. Don't overcook it because that shit will burst. It's not as good quality. It's not as hardy as like something that you would source wholly, like if it was like it or something like that. You know, you're going to get better quality with that, and it's so much cheaper, but it sure works. You know, big bag of millet, you know, it's like $50-$60 for 20 pounds. It's not cheap. But birdseed, yeah, you can fucking bang it all day. It works, you know.
I don't have a pressure cooker. I have pasteurized using a microwave, like my cocoa core and stuff like that. So I don't know if that kind of same technique.
Microwaves are the shit.
I personally prefer bucket tack. I like bucket tack.
Oh man, you gotta come off of that. Just kidding. Do whatever works best for you. I've contaminated every single time I tried to grow with bucket tack.
Bucket tack, what? Straight plain core.
Yeah. It doesn't. I don't feel like it does it thoroughly every time. I mean, I might have been doing it wrong, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of times people will have an issue, right, with contamination, and they're doing everything right. And I ask them. Now it's the first thing I ask them. I say, are you doing bucket tech? And they say, yeah. And I'm like, switch it up. And then they switch it up, and they're good.
Well,
I don't know.
I've used very old, used a 5-month-old core from my bucket tech, and I haven't had zero issues. Because obviously, core contains no nutrients, right? So you know,
but it also contains a shitload of trichoderma.
I mean, as long as it's not overly wet, and you're not and there's temperature fluctuations, I don't see there being an issue.
If you get the reptile friendly as well, it doesn't contain trike.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, you got to get what is it like?
If
What do they call it?
if it's
Garden
for
safe.
plant-based or seedlings, then it's they put trike in there because it's good for them. But obviously, the
obviously we don't want
reptile-friendly
that,
one
though.
is taken out.
Yeah, and there's like I said, there's always variables. You know what I mean? There's always so many things to look at. Just because you switch bucket tech because you were contaminating with bucket tech doesn't necessarily mean it's going to even have anything to do with the way you're doing it in the core that you're using. You know what I mean? That could be
for sure.
Just saying that bucket tech doesn't work is silly because it obviously
microwave
works.
tech though, I wouldn't recommend that personally.
Okay. So would you just launch the grains after you clean them up and wash them down and stuff like that and leave it in the bucket for a bit? Would you say just let it dry in the air and then put them in? I'm gonna put them in little mason jars that I have with the lid to breathe, and then just go that way if I don't do the bucket tech.
But so are you not pressurizing your grain?
No, because this is a big bag that I have laying around, and
what are you
I'm in a
doing, like
crunch.
a broke boy pack, or what are your plans to actually sterilize the grains?
That's the question. I have no idea how to sterilize if I don't have a pressure cooker. I was thinking about doing bucket tech and put it in a
bucket of water.
Right.
Use a bucket.
Grains and substrate are two different. So you got your substrate and then you got your grains.
Yeah.
So don't try to even nuke them to pressurize them in the.
The way you're gonna sterilize your grain without a pressure cooker is like this.
Okay.
Is you're gonna get a pot and you're gonna put the half pint jars, right? So they got enough water to sit there to raise to the bottom of the half pint jars. You're gonna put a plate over the top of them, okay? Because the water boiling is gonna hit 212 degrees, okay?
Okay.
That's the temperature in which water boils, and that's actually the temperature at which water is sterilized too. You boil water, whatever's in the water is dead. Okay, completely different physics than when you're dealing with something solid.
Okay.
With the grain, is what's sterilizing it is the water is so hot that it penetrates it, and anything that water that's at that temperature touches, it's going to sterilize along with it. Okay, so you have to make sure that you have moisture that's penetrated your grain completely, and that moisture was boiling. Okay, that's why we hold it at 150 degrees for an hour. I only sterilize my grains for an hour. I have no problem doing it for an hour. But when you do that, or 3 hours or whatever, you're ensuring that it boiled in the center of that grain, right? But different physics. When you're making BRF cakes, the old school way, nobody had pressure cookers. They would do what's called steam sterilization, right? Because the steam can actually get hotter than the water, and it allows the water to penetrate whatever it is, like a piece of grain. You're going to want to do a softer grain. You don't want to do popcorn in a steam sterilizer because it's such a dense, hard corn. You could sterilize it, but it's going to take a lot longer for it to that core temperature to hit that temperature that you need it to. Use something like brown rice would be a really good one, just like we use brown rice flour when we make our BRF cakes without the pressure cooker. Whoever did that, where you just put them in the pot, let the steam build up in the pot, and you sterilize your brown rice cakes for PF Tech. Anybody remember that? That's how we did it, right? Same concept. You're just going to hold it there for longer. You should probably keep it steaming for a full day, full 12 hours. When you see that the water's getting low, refill it up. Make sure you're quick about it and don't let the temperature drop at all. And then just keep that lid on the pot, and you'll sterilize your grain that way.
Okay, I'll send you pictures on the BDG chat when I start trying that on next weekend.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you guys.
If a pressure cooker is out of your price range, have a look into something like an instant pot.
Yeah, there you go.
I do have an instant pot, but
well, there you go.
My wife started telling me not to use certain things of the house for stuff like that, so I'm trying to keep it.
Dude, you can sterilize. You can do both your grain and your sub in there.
And your dinner.
And your dinner, yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah, she was worried more about maybe pasteurizing like substrate there because of the manure and stuff like that. So I guess seeds will be okay. I'll definitely go down the pressure cooker route with the.
So the only difference is with the instant pot is they actually lack a little less psi compared to say a conventional pressure cooker like a Presto or something like that. So you just gotta extend your pressure cooking times. Count for that.
Yeah, I believe it hits. I 11 pounds to 13, 11 to 13, depending on the quality or how hot it gets. But it doesn't ever quite
Like
hit 15.
I use an instant pot and I pressure cook for 3 hours. My grain jars. I
go.
have no
Yeah,
issue.
Yeah, I think it hits anywhere from 11 to 13, which is high enough. Like obviously, you can do it without even 5 pounds with 5 pounds of pressure, which is basically just the lid sitting on. You know what I mean? And the steam. So
I'm gonna document it and post it up on BDG when I'm gonna show pictures of doing the grains from sipping through it and doing and then put it on Instapot. So 3 hours and I'll lunch it because I really don't want to keep buying supplies. Like I already got a bunch of genetics that I got from some of you guys, and I just want to like minimize the cost at this point.
You don't have to get a 24 quart like me and Moon use. I mean, I've got a 6 quart one that I just use for my agar.
Okay.
And I think I spent like $40 on this thing.
Okay.
And the default pressure on it is 15 psi. So I mean, you don't have to buy a $250 24 quart pressure cooker.
Is that is that a Presto?
Like we use on this one to cook like 6 bags. If you're going to do 1 bag at a time or 2 bags, you could probably fit it in that 6 quart and save some money.
Mike,
Definitely.
is that a Presto, that small one?
It's a New Wave.
Okay, I'll look it up.
I'll send you the link for it. I'll look it up and find it, and I'll shoot it out to you. But it works great, and it's especially good for agar because you don't have to fire up a 24 quart sterilizer to cook 6 jars or 5 jars of our kombucha tech agar. They fit perfectly in that fucking thing. So
yeah, if you don't mind shooting me the info, I really appreciate it.
I'll send it to you.
Alrighty, you guys have a great rest of your day. So I have to go to work now. Thank you guys for answering the questions.
Yeah, take it easy, bro.
Take care.
Guys, later.
On that pressure cooker thing, I think mine's like a 10 quart, which I use, and I can do. I think I do 4 bags at a time at 1.5 kilos each. So yeah, it's more than enough for like someone who's just growing for themselves or whatever. Just as you don't need to do fucking. Say that again.
You're doing 2.5 pound bags.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where 1.5 big bat 2. Yeah, is that about £3? So no,
Something
yeah, it must be just under. But yeah, it's more than enough for me anyway, because I could split that across 2 sort of 6 quart tubs, and then or each one of those bags I split between two tubs. So, but yeah, unless you want to go, you're doing 500 bags at a time.
Yeah. Standalone for that.
But it's that is a good.
That's the next move.
I had a question about break and shakes. One of my buddies just texted me. He's listening. He just can't chime in. He's asking in regards to, he doesn't do a break and shake, and he's asking, do you guys recommend doing a break and shake? And if so, up to how many break and shakes? And is it better not to break and shake? He strictly does not break and shake, he says.
Yes,
Can I go first?
Yeah, you first.
So I personally don't break and shake either. The only reason I'll break and shake is if I notice I got a genetic that's just struggling on the grain, because I mess around with a bunch of different stuff. So I never stick to one true grain. My most recent one was buckwheat and groats, naked oats. And it didn't take too well to that, and it took a long time. So about I don't know, 40-50% of the way in, I give it a break and shake, and then it bounces back usually within the week. But say if I'm using like millet or popcorn, those are 2 grains that I add into my agar recipes, and my mycelium is pretty established well to it, and it'll just eat right through it. So I don't really need to break and shake. It's usually colonized within like a week or 2. Or say if I got a few grains on top, if I don't want to scrape those off, maybe I'll break and shake it one more time just so the full bag gets colonized. Other than that, I don't bother.
Is there such thing as doing too many break and shakes?
I wouldn't go past 2 personally.
You're eventually going to wear it out.
Yeah.
You'll stress it out too much.
Yeah, by the time it gets to the tub, or the like by the time you spawn the bulk, it'll be tired and it'll be spent. So I mean, like if you don't break it, you'll notice that the mycelium is like a lot harder. So the bag will, if you've got mycelium that's ripping through that grain specifically, then I wouldn't he's absolutely right. I wouldn't break and shake
something that needs it. This is an example of something that could use a break and shake, right? And let me show you an example of something that doesn't need a break and shake and that never did because it was prepared differently. This one, as you can see, there's no mice. It's got to grow a good 6 inches in some of these parts in order to get finished, right? You got this one. This one was baking really good after I inoculated it. Therefore, the inoculation points were everywhere. It might not have seemed like it was growing as fast, but at the end, you're going to get faster speeds because after it gets going, it gets going. Okay. Mm-hmm. But one thing I want to point out is that just because this is a large mass, a large part of this, isn't the reason why it needs to be broken and shooken up right now. The reason why, and MyCsee brought it up, is you'll notice it's a lot denser. When it gets dense like this, like a rock, not like a rock, like a dry piece of fucking bread or something, right? It's called consolidated. It's consolidated. And that means that the mycelium that's formed together as this mass is now focused on fruiting. It's still eating a little bit and spreading a little bit, but it's really slowed down because it's full. It has all the food that it needs. Same thing happens on your petri dishes. When you keep giving it high nute, your mycelium slows down. This is slowing down. It is slowed down. That's why it's a rock, and it's focused on digesting. We don't want it to do that right now. Also, if you do it before it's consolidated, you make it slower. You have to wait that same amount of time again for it to consolidate and reach the point that you just did the break and shake at. It makes it take, you could potentially force your mycelium to take months to grow if you break and shake it too soon. So always, it's never about the size of the mycelium, the mass. We say, 25 to 30% is basically the standard, right? Those are good metrics because normally that's when you'll see it consolidating, right? But that's not always the case. You can have a little tiny piece in there that's consolidated. And you think, oh, I got to wait till it's 30%. You'll be waiting all fucking year. This needs to be broken, break and shake because it was inoculated on the 10th. So that's 2 weeks old. Definitely could have been done before because if you look at this, it's huge. It's a giant, dense mass. It's been sitting there forever, right? Probably was ready a week ago. Right. So I'll just break and shake it. Now, when I break and shake it, though, I don't want to do it again. Obviously, I don't want to do it at 75% because if I do it at 75%, that means that at 75%, I would have been increasing the amount of time that it takes to colonize. If it's equally distributed throughout the whole bag, meaning you thoroughly shake it, you're not going to need to do it again. In fact, it would be counterproductive to do it again.
I also like to chime in as well. I like, say you got a suspicious looking green bag, give that a break and shake, and if it don't bounce back, then obviously your answer. It was probably suspicious to begin with.
I break and shake every bag when it's finished. I'll show you.
Yeah, I know a few people who do that actually. I can't say I do.
You don't want to risk it. See, these are all. This one, for example, is bouncing back. See how it's fuzzy? It's not thick and white. This one, you can see, it's still loose. Yeah, these have all been
frozen. You're frozen on my end.
I am?
Yeah.
It's frozen on my end too. It's not just me then.
Yeah, turn the camera off and turn it back on again.
Oh, Platy's saying, is it cool?
Can you see me?
Yeah, mine was all right.
Yeah, that's good. You're good.
Okay, so
show them again.
Yeah, these are
show
all
them again.
These are all finished. I'm just going to turn the camera around so I can see. So these are all my finished pile that I'm getting ready to spawn, right? If you can see, I break them at the end. It's not consolidated yet, but it's fully colonized. If it doesn't bounce back, then just be thankful that you didn't send it. This one's waiting to bounce back. Always, man. always double check that shit. The worst thing that you can do for yourself here is keep anything that's contaminated around in your grow. And that's the biggest mistake that everybody makes. Everybody makes it. You don't want to throw away a tub that's got half of it, it's going to be a nice pin set. You know what I mean? It's like, how do I save this? Well, you can't, but you can squeeze some fruits out of it. But that comes at a cost. This long-term stuff.
Have you seen that video with Pheno Dreamer where he leaves the plate in his tent open with trichome?
Yeah, what about it?
He leaves it. Basically, he says that the contamination in a confined space isn't a problem because it won't spread. He leaves like a colonized trich plate open in the tent.
Well, yeah,
for
it's
like
going to be full of
time.
This is where he's wrong. Okay, and I've talked to Pheno about this many times. Trichoderma covers you cannot escape it. It is everywhere. It covers every centimeter of the planet. Literally, it's the most abundant thing that there is. It's the most necessary thing for life. We have to have it. It's everywhere. You can't escape it. Even in front of your flow hood, you can't escape it. We all have experience with that, right? Everything can be perfect. You still can't escape it. The problem with what he's saying is that just because it's everywhere doesn't mean all those spores are fresh, because we all know that the fresher a spore is, the more viable it is. You could have a tub that's completely closed, not open it at all, next to a tub that hasn't been opened at all, but one of them has trichoderma. And guess what? The other tub's almost guaranteed to get it. Why? Because the spores are going to fucking get in there. We're talking about 0.2 microns. This is tiny. You know what I mean? Like you open a door or close the door, the little tiny bit of drift that actually you would never be able to actually measure, the force of that door closing and the amount of air that got up under the lid and actually stirred whatever up around inside the tub that caused it to float out, and then one of them got inside the other tub. You'd never be able to measure that, but it's happening. They're fucking tiny.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. If I get anything that goes funny, the whole tub goes. I don't even bother trying to clean it. It's just that's gone, and I'll replace it.
It's an infection.
Whereas I just find it when you see people portraying, obviously a lot of new growers watch you guys and Pheno Dreamer and everyone else, and they can get a misconception over what can be done and what can't be done, just because, like you've just explained there's a reason why you could do it if you wanted to, but that information isn't coming across. So it's coming across like, if you've got it, don't worry about it, don't stress it or whatever. But it is a point that I think needs stressing. If you've got it, clean your whole shit down and fucking start again. That's what, if I see it, I literally go on a deep clean.
Well, it's what happens if you don't. You let it build up. Eventually, you can't grow anything in there. You'll never get anything that doesn't contaminate at the end of a first flush if you've got trichoderma infection in your room. That's just the way it is. I've been there, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys with more experience have been there, where everything, no matter what, once you harvest it, it shows green. And that's because it doesn't always get it right at the beginning. It waits until that acidity drops, but it's everywhere. Those spores are fresh. And here's the thing about trichoderma and green molds, okay? We think that it's the spores that's the main issue. It's not. The main way, you can even Google it, okay? You Google trichoderma, it'll even say that its main way of reproduction is through mycelial fragmentation. What is mycelial fragmentation? Well, it's basically germinated spores. It sheds its own fungus. It sheds itself. It's mold, right? And it's little translucent, pearly fucking little tiny cells, right, that are mycelial fragments that you can't even see. You won't even see it on the substrate a lot of times unless there's a lot of it. You'll see that pearly, shiny stuff, and then that turns green, right? The spores are just there as a backup plan in case it can't reproduce through mycelial fragmentation. And the mycelial fragmentation spreads even more than spores. It gets into your clothes, it gets into everything. So that's like saying, oh, the spores, I can catch spores in a petri dish and they germinate. You see that? That means absolutely nothing. It's irrelevant to the fact that trichoderma, the only reason why we think of it as a green spore is because that's the only part of it that you can see. And that's actually the smallest part of it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So mycelium is basically cloning itself. It shoots off 1 million clones every time you open up your goddamn lid. Literally, like millions of them.
So clean your shit, people.
Yeah, use there's ways you can clean your shit up. It's disgusting, man. This mold is gross.
There's
use peroxide. Alcohol doesn't get rid of it. They have to break down the shell of it, in order to.
You got to crack the egg.
You got to crack the egg, exactly.
Oh, so ISO doesn't penetrate it.
No.
It just dilutes it, probably. Lets it come back.
It probably.
See, when I run
it
into
burns the
contamination
grease, right?
issues, that's when I know it's time to give my my lab space a good clean down. I'm talking the skirting boards, removing everything from that room, giving it a big wipe down, clean down, steam clean, and then putting everything back in there. Then nice reorganized.
Yeah.
If you're cleaning up tubs, it's got to be bleach. You can use 10% solution first, and then peroxide, and then alcohol should be the last thing that you use. And it should sit there until it evaporates by itself. You should never wipe it off. And that should be at least 70% so it doesn't evaporate fast. 90% evaporates too fast.
Yeah, I just steamed mine out. Back in the day when I used to reuse my tubs, they'd get like green, the mold literally, like the spores would penetrate into the plastic. That's how small the spores are, guys. Think about that. Like it literally gets to where it's staining the plastic of your tub. And
that's one of my reasons for throwing it away.
It's very abrasive. You use a scouring pad like 3M or the back of a sponge, like the hard part. You're scratching the shit out of the tub, and then you're making like this trench, microscopic trench where all this stuff stays in there, right?
Yeah, that's why I would use I'd get a just tubing, right? I'd hook it up to where the weight goes on your pressure cooker, put it over the top of that, and then tape up all the holes except for one on your tub. Put that hose through there and crank your pressure cooker on high. I had a little thing that had seven different valves on it, so I could do 7 tubs at the same time. Fill the presso all the way up, right, and then put it on the camshaft. So it's about ready to blow up, but it'll clean your tubs out. You don't want to don't even touch the tub. That thing will melt your fingers. But that'll clean it. That's the only way I'd trust it ever using your contaminated tub after learning my lesson.
Just put your grain in there at the same time and fucking steam it, cook it, and then don't ever take it out of the tub and knock it right there.
Well, that's how I used to do my substrate too.
Yes.
In a bulk sterilizer.
That's a good idea.
It's the coolest thing if you think about it, but man, there's so much better ways to do that. Figured out how to do substrate too. It's like, that's cool, and you're getting a lot done at once, but is it really faster, and is it really less work, and is it really the most effective way? Do we really need to pasteurize cocoa coir like that? That's the question. And if somebody says yes, I want to know why. Why someone thinks that.
I don't know. If I don't do bucket tech and do it for 24 hours, I don't, I wrap a blanket around it so the bucket stays really hot. By the time I'm actually going to the tub, the shit is still like fucking steaming basically, and that's like 24 hours later.
So you're holding it probably, I'd imagine that it drops to 180 fairly quickly, 190 fairly quickly. It's going to drop fast at first, and then it's going to slow down. It's going to cool down slower the cooler it gets, right? So once you hit 180, you probably got a good 10 hours left before you're below 120 or 130, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what does that do?
Well, it goes beyond pasteurizing and it sterilizes it, right? At that point.
Well, it's not sterilized, so it is pasteurized because it's not going to be completely. It hasn't been held at 212 degrees or higher, 225 basically, for a very long time. For an hour or whatever it is they say it takes, which is overkill. But obviously the medical industry is going to be overkill, and that's where our standards come from. But it's very, very, very much so very pasteurized, right? And people will say partially sterilized. That's not a word. You can't partially sterilize something. It's pasteurized. So how long does it take, you think, before all of the parasitic molds and things that are dangerous to mycelium, which is the reason why we pasteurize it? How long do you think you need to hold it at what temperature in order to get rid of all those?
Less than what I'm doing it for. That's for sure.
Way less, right? They say like between 140 and 160 or 170 for 1 hour, right? Is what it takes. So a lot of people do that, and then they say that they still have the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, right? So people do it for longer.
Yeah,
What's
then
that?
it's your grain at that point. Then it's your grain at that point.
It's your grain at that point, or maybe it is their substrate. Who fucking knows? You know, maybe whoever figured out how to pasteurize, or maybe that definition just applies to milk or whatever it is. You know, who knows? I haven't looked into it that much, but I look at it like you've got to kill all the parasitic molds and all the parasitic mold spores in order to pasteurize it. And when you do that, it's going to kill most of the bacteria and leave pretty much only bacterial endospores that are the things that can survive at higher heats for longer periods of time. Which bacterial endospores are something that's beneficial to mycelium. We know that, right? Because it's going to hatch, it's going to germinate, and it will turn into bacteria. And as long as it's not too much bacteria, there's a symbiotic relationship between mycelium and bacteria. They both need each other, at least to some extent, right? In order for your mycelium to have an immune system at all, it's going to have to be exposed to something once you take it out of the petri dish. At what temperature? I look at it like, as long as I can take that up to 200 degrees, there's not going to be any mold spores or any chance of any mold surviving that. And it's going to kill even more bacteria than it normally would have. Just pasteurizing it. It's going to leave very few endospores. Taking it up to 200 is not going to sterilize it. That's still pasteurization. And so that's what I like to do. I'd like to take it to bring it to 15 psi for 15 minutes and then shut it off. That's it. Let it cool on its own. As soon as you can pull the lid off and grab that thing and handle it, it's ready to go. You can throw it to your substrate. And it's that's just the way I see it. And then that way it's like you're doing way less work.
That's why we don't want to use, like we're kind of getting away with from using manure in our sub, right? Because that, if you sterilize that, then that kills all the beneficial bacteria.
There's no beneficial bacteria. Yeah, you have to sterilize your manure anyways, or else it contaminates. So what's the point?
Right.
Is there really beneficial bacteria in the manure? That's my thing. Like, why are we using shit when it's just it's low nutrient composted grass? It's really basically cocoa coir with a lot of fucking mold in it. It's not that big of. It's not. There's not something that's benefiting it that we can't see and read on a macro level, like as far as nutrients go. There's not. It's been sitting in the sun for 2 or 3 years before it's even capable of being used. Manure is. If you grab a piece of properly leached manure that you're going to use in your grow, okay, it's just going to look like kind of a dirt clod. You're going to break it. You smell it. It smells like dirt. Acts like dirt. Oh, it is dirt. There's not even grass at all in it. Yeah. The sun destroys things. You know what I mean? That it has no chance of any biome living in that thing. It's been nuked, and it's it's nutritious dirt. But now what happens is worms will come and eat it, right? And they create worm shit. And that's really what's the point that's needed in chemistry, in the chemistry of the earth, for life to go on and exist past that, at least to flourish past that, is worms. Worm shit, worm castings. It's the best fertilizer for any plant. For your cacti, it's the best because worms are everywhere. And anywhere that there's anything growing, there's worms. And they need worms. Worm shit is basically horse manure that's been composted in a way that it didn't lose any of its nutrients. And it also has a slow release. It's like a slow. So when you put a bunch of horse manure, let's say you get some that's like in between halfway leach and it's super, you can see the grass, right? It's going to have a lot of nitrogen in it. People use that stuff, horse manure that wasn't properly leached. Sure. They just sterilize it, which, like you were saying, kills the biome, but there's grass in it. You can see it. It looks like, kind of smells like horse shit. That's going to be very high nitrogen, but it's going to release all at the same time, which is going to cause your grow to be very sensitive to contamination. What worm castings does is it basically puts a time release capsule over all that stuff so that it's a slow release that happens over a period of time so that your mycelium can use it as it's released. It's the same thing. It's just better.
It's buffering it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't buffer it in the sense that you're raising the pH. It just keeps the pH from dropping so fast.
Right. Exactly.
So that's what I was going to say. So what you're doing, instead of using manure, you're using worm castings instead, are you?
Yeah, definitely.
And are you pasteurizing those or sterilizing them?
So I do the ultra pasteurization, like I just explained. Which is basically, it's going to act like it's sterilized, but by the time the mycelium's colonized, that biome will be there. But it's not like you're putting your mycelium into a substrate that already has a biome. Does that make sense? It's basically sterile. Because those endospores, who knows, it could take 5 days after it's been colonizing inside of it, especially if you use it right out of the pot. And it's not going to give you any problems. Use your flow hood. You're good. Stay clean. Doesn't matter. It could be ultra pasteurized or sterile. So Chika from Spore Exchange, you guys know Chika. He's done experiments and he's found that pasteurizing everything all the way gets you better yields. And Q was involved with those experiments with him too.
And Sarek, is it Sarek? Is that how you pronounce it? On Culture Cave, yeah. He's a pan guy, isn't he? That's his speciality. Is that his? Have you guys spoke to him about it?
Yeah, we spoke to him about it.
Out of curiosity, because I'd like to get him on and ask him as well, because obviously that's his.
I mean, he'll tell you something completely different, I think, but at the same time,
yeah, no doubt, everyone does, don't they? This is mycology.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know what he'd say. He might be open-minded to it. I mean, I try to keep an open mind to everything. That's why I feel like I do that because it's going to benefit me the most. I've done all the
that's
ways.
The best place to grow, isn't it? Is to be open-minded on what you're doing.
People who aren't, people who think they've got it, and aren't listening, dude, they're not ever gonna. You might be good now, but you're not asking more questions. You gotta always ask questions.
Well, you become stagnant, and then you become stuck in your ways, and then you become shroomery.
And then you become delusional. You think that your shit's the shit when it's not the shit, and it's like, okay. But if you got something to teach me, man, and you're willing to share, I'm always down to ask questions. I think that's
the best way to do it. Is I always think if that's what I like about the server is that I don't know everything, and I didn't when I started it all. But as a group of people, if you've come across a problem, somebody's already had it. That's the way I see it.
Exactly.
So we can learn off of each other. We haven't all got to keep making the same mistakes and repeating the same mistakes.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's not like it was 10 years ago, It was
I don't know. I don't know, but I imagine it was difficult from what I've heard.
Dude, you had to have people around the clock fanning and misting. It was expensive. Pay all those people to fan and mist your takes.
There's a question in the chat saying, where does that, I guess what he's asking is where does that farinaceous odor come from? Why do some genetics have this kind of funk smell to it and others don't? Because his wife's apparently getting pissed off from stinking up the fucking house when he's practicing. And I can say that my wife says the same shit. So you're in the same boat as me, man.
So
I have to wait till my wife goes out shopping.
Why is some shit funky and and some isn't?
Alkaloids. Probably the ones that are funky are the ones you want to keep, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, landrace.
Well, not even landrace.
Full spectrum.
Those tidal wave 4, cuttlefish, dude. It stinks. Toke stinks. They look like they smell like they look. You know what I mean?
Dang.
Still water is a stinky son of a bitch. It smells like a foot. But it's got some shit going on in there.
That's our version of dank.
Go ahead, Matt. Dank.
I was just about to say the same thing about still water because I just harvested that bag, 2 bags of it. Man, I forgot how bad that shit stinks.
Oh yeah, that's gonna fuck someone up. I always think about some kid in the Midwest. He gets a bag of fucking still water and he asks his cousin. He calls him up. How much should I eat of this shit? And he says, "Oh, eat 2 or 3 of them."
Yeah, and first he asks him to confirm that it's actually still water for him. Is this what this guy said it was? Yeah. And how much should I eat?
He said, "Eat 2 or 3 of those giant fucking things."
Yeah, it hit 1,700 or something with like 4 fruits or some shit.
Oh, nice. Yeah, dude. I think I saw some of the pictures at least.
It might have had other fruits, but they were like tiny.
Was it done growing completely?
The biggest one was, huh?
Yeah, it never is done. Still water. I swear,
Yeah,
it'll keep on growing. Like there's always
yeah,
something. It'll grow to a half pound dry. Like you're gonna get that 2,200 if you're willing to let it go and sacrifice some of the fruit rotting. I feel
yeah,
like.
yeah. That I noticed the inside when I cloned it. It was getting like a funky, like
Brown.
that brown, like not like stipe brown, but like bacterial brown or something on the inside of it.
See, in that 505 that I cloned, it was really brown on the inside too and stunk, but there was no contamination. I was able to clone it.
Yeah,
All my transfers were clean, so
yeah. It
that was
looks like
something I
mine
noticed.
is too. So
It made the browns just probably alkaloids.
yeah, probably.
Sometimes
I
if
wouldn't
the
doubt
shit
it.
is so thick, it takes so long for it to dry out on the inside that it'll start to go bacterial. So there is a certain
It was
kind
while
of
it was wet. It was wet,
yeah.
fresh while I was cloning, but yeah,
Yeah, well, yeah, bacteria. Just because you're cloning the inside of a mushroom doesn't mean that it's sterile. By no means, it's a mushroom.
yeah,
Just like are your insides sterile? Hell no. You're full of a biome. It's gonna happen less when we're doing it indoors. Like outside, go ahead and try to clone a wild fruit. It's got bacteria through the whole fucking thing. As a spore, it started with bacteria.
right.
Our process is pretty much sterile. It doesn't have really the opportunity for a biome to really reach the inside of a mushroom, but it does happen, especially the longer you let it sit there.
Yeah, yeah, and still water will definitely go forever if you let it. So
Mm-hmm.
Some of the
it
more
was
dense
breaking
stuff
itself.
has
So
chitin in it, right? So like chitin is the part like of the fibrous material that's where like most of the nausea comes from consumption.
yeah, from digesting that shit. Yeah,
And like a lot of those like ape swinging type of things that have a lot of chitin, they're really fibrous, super dense. It takes a long time for them to kind of dry out on the inside. And they're also high in baeocystin and norbaeocystin, which is also going to trigger nausea. So it's not surprising that those kinds of phenos are a little danker than something that's kind of got like a straw
yeah, yeah,
kind of base to it.
yeah.
I
That
ate
makes
some
sense.
young guy last night, and I had a piece stuck in my teeth, like a
Uh,
little fucking stick poking out of my teeth. You guys ever
That
eaten
baeocystin
pans
is big.
before? They get stuck in your fucking teeth. It's like dental floss. It's like chewing on floss.
oh, it's like thin, fibrous like that.
Yeah, they're like little sticks, little tiny. Looks like super like thick blades of
Woody.
grass. Yeah,
Woody.
yeah, woody. No, yeah, I had some stuck in my teeth. I was like, I could not get that fucking thing out, and it was like,
I, I did just put young guy to plates, some swabs.
oh, nice.
So
What are you gonna do with it? You gonna grow it?
I figure if
Put it in
I
pans,
don't know.
bro.
I figured if I put the swabs to a plate, it would force me to at least try it. So
First clean transfer. First transfer clean. Throw that to grain.
okay.
You'll be
It's
good.
really finicky. You got to get a really low newt recipe for
Oh, it's
that.
probably
Or
not
Mine,
gonna like my recipe then.
mine hates low nutrient. My young guy hates it. It fucking dies on low nutrient.
really?
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
put it on my high newt and it stays right in one spot and it starts to actually get like blue, like the
That's because you put
mycelium
food
turns
coloring in it.
blue.
You can't have
No,
coloring.
no, no. Even on a regular plate, man.
What do you have? How high is your nutrients?
10, 10, 5, 0.5, 0.5.
10,
Oh yeah, that's
10,
inside of me.
5, 0.5, 0.5.
10, 5 point. So 10 of what?
10
Of
agar,
eight? Okay.
5
Oh,
LME, 0.5 peptone, 0.5 yeast, and then like probably a dab of whatever my carb is.
That's low. That's medium low. So what I would do is I'd remove the peptone completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, then just do it. Replace your peptone with yeast.
So 1 gram of yeast total.
Yep.
10-5-1.
Yep.
That's what I use as
No
yeast.
no carb either, right?
So you've got LME in there. It's all carbs.
Yeah.
Well,
No quick sugar. Like I'm talking honey, agave syrup, sorghum syrup, taro.
Right. It doesn't need it. Doesn't need it. No complex nutrients. No complex sugars. And they've got other things in it too, like each of these little, you got your say your agave syrup or whatever. There's more than just sugar in there that the mic is enjoying. Same with honey. Honey's going to have its own nutrients that are unique to honey, and that's really where those are why that's why those are the ones that I rotate in and out of themselves. Are the ones that are very, very sugary and sweet, and like
Me
coffee
and
is one of them.
Platy,
Coffee's got.
me and
I love
Platy
honey.
are running
I put honey in everything.
barley malt extract as well.
Yeah, there you go. So that's going to have stuff in it that nothing else has in it.
Yeah, preservatives, natural preservatives.
Yeah,
Barley
honey's a
malt
natural
extract is
preservative.
banging on. It's easy to use as well.
What is it?
You literally microwave that stuff.
Milk extract?
Barley malt.
Barley malt.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, going back to honey as well. Honey is great. Oh,
yeah,
sorry, go on, man.
Honey.
No, I'm sorry about that. I wanted to ask. Have you guys have any experience freeze drying fruit, and if there's any potency change?
Duck is working on that right now. He's the guy to talk to about that. He just bought a freeze dryer, and we're gonna run some of that stuff at Triptomics A and B it, kind of figure out if freeze drying it has an effect on its shelf life, potency up front.
How do you lose potency?
I freeze dried this one, and I mean, I think I just did it because it had a solid look, and I just keep it on my desk now. I freeze dry them. I dehydrate them. Some people get very, I guess, picky with like asking me like, "Hey, does the potency change?" I'm like, dude, I get slapped. Like I don't dose up. I think I don't know. People assume that you cultivate and you push out a certain amount. Like, dude, I don't dose up like how you think I do. I just whatever my body feels is natural. That's what I do. I really don't.
When that cooling hits, that's when I do.
But yeah, like someone asked me, like, do you see a difference? I'm like, I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask, man. I'll take a dehydrated fruit and feel the same whether it's freeze dried, dehydrated. But I think I do it just because I don't know. I feel like I'm diving more into an art form now. Like, and I started just collecting the bigger end fruits, or the ones that I think are more aesthetically appealing, and just kind of
you're freeze drying them and keeping them. That's fucking sick. You should laminate them.
Yeah.
I've been thinking of like epoxying some of them, but look at this Frankenstein one that's just been breaking on me. This was a Casper revert, and I just started. This thing
That's
happened.
freeze dried, is it?
This is also freeze dried, yeah.
It definitely feels like it's a little bit easier to get them down when you freeze dry them because it's almost like that fucking, what do they call that, astronaut ice cream? It like kind of melts in your mouth after you freeze dry it. And it's definitely easier on the stomach, to be honest. It's better to digest it. Something about it just changes its structure. It's like so much easier to get down. I mean, not that I have a problem eating.
It's still alive when you freeze dry it. So freeze dried mycelium is in stasis. It's still alive. The cell walls haven't ruptured. So there's actually this patented technology that if anybody's ever looked up grow kits, like back in the day, like a YouTube video, it would always pull up this company from Europe and it'd show these people, they have this little baggie, right? They get the box, they open it, they pour the water in, they close it, and then they grow mushrooms 2 weeks later, right? But it was on a dehydrated block of mycelium that they would pour the water on. But that was freeze dried. And the machine that does it, that uses it to make the substrates, is actually patented. Sure, it's not patented anymore, but no one's talking about that, just grow kits that you rehydrate and it's good to go. But so that mushroom, you could let it sit there for a year and then you could cut open the middle of it and easily clone a piece.
That was going to be my question. Wise, have you tried cloning a freeze dried cap yet?
I have not tried cloning a freeze dried cap, and been wanting to, because there was one that after I freeze dried it, I'm like, oh shit, like I kind of like that one, and I was like, huh, am I still able to? I can definitely see it being a lot easier, just because as soon as it gets any sort of humidity near it, it almost comes back to life like really quick. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can only imagine if I take a piece, put it on a plate, just the humidity that's in the plate alone will bring it back. And I'm pretty sure it's
Drop it into a petri dish, a piece into a petri dish without agar, but then give it a good spritz with hydrogen peroxide to rehydrate it, and it'll come back to life, and it'll be clean. You don't even need agar at first, so put it in a petri dish, spritz hydrogen peroxide, seal it up, give it a couple days, and then come back and check on it.
Yeah, and show us the results next Saturday.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm telling you, this is
I want to see it. You got to get it done now. I need to see it.
No, that's not a problem, man. My old lady's gonna have to pull me out of the lab here.
Yeah,
let's see.
I've got some Mexicana that I did that to. Nice feeling.
No, why spray it with you said peroxide? Why peroxide specifically?
Gonna kill all the contaminants
bacteria
it has with it and your mold. It's not clean anymore. It's been out in your hand. You've been,
Oh yeah,
running around town. It's dirty as fuck. Hydrogen peroxide will
everyone
hydrate it.
everyone walks
as it
in.
hydrates it.
Everyone
You've
walks
been dragging
in
it
and
out of
they
the
just want
freezer,
to hold
showing
it.
everyone.
Yeah.
So it'll
I
basically
would.
turn
Everyone
into
that came
water
round will
as
be
it
getting them out.
Yeah.
Have a look at this. You need to get them in some sort of frame, maybe like vacuum sealed in a frame.
Yeah. I'd fucking take one of those things. I'd fucking, you soak it with like hairspray, like your grandma's thick ass fucking, like the aerosol hairspray.
like a taxidermy.
Yeah.
Mushroom taxidermyism.
What else you guys got? There's a lot of chat going on here. I didn't get a chance to look in here.
Ask the questions, Mike. Ask the question.
Get recorded for. Oh yeah, we're recording this, right?
Yeah, this is being recorded. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's recording me right now. Damn.
Not video, Moon. Don't worry.
I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
He's gonna have to get more sexy for everybody.
I'm gonna put a video one on OnlyFans.
I've been in my underwear all fucking day. God damn it. I should have known. No, I need to
There'll be an OnlyFans by the end of the week. Don't worry. We'll be cashing in.
Fucking love that. I've always wanted to be a porn star.
I had another question. One of my buddies, I feel like he asks a lot and he doesn't listen to shit at the end of the day, but whatever, it's his experiments. And he's always mixing different grains together. I see him always mix.
You talk about Shroom.
He's having trouble.
That would be me.
No, this is another buddy of mine. I feel like no one could hop on today, and I'm like, man, you guys had all these questions, and you guys aren't here when you guys need to be here. But I'll ask for him, and I'll pass it on. He's always mixing different grains, trying to see what works, and I feel like a lot of his grains always stall out. I guess the question is,
he's not clean.
Is it okay to mix the grains? Is there grains that you shouldn't mix?
Nope. But it doesn't, I don't think it's going to make a difference. Like it's all, basically your grains have all your macronutrients, right? And all your micros too. Your mushrooms have what it needs to live essentially. And then there's other things just like that we can take. There's certain amino acids that our bodies don't need that we can benefit from, right? There's the essential amino acids, there's 8 of them, and there's 21 non-essential. The 8 essential create what we call a complete protein, and that's what our bodies need to survive as humans. Not even every mammal is the same.
Is he using the same genetic but keep changing the grain?
Yes.
Yes.
So if he's keeping the same one, I mean, he's getting it used to one type of grain, but then he's switching grain before he's
Yeah, I was gonna say that. It sounds like
Or he's running it again.
He's
Is
constantly
he not
shocking his
switching too much on the
mycelium.
same genetic?
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
he
what
needs
we
to
were
But
saying.
you need to establish a little like a baseline first before you start throwing in multiple other grains.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. That I kind of like honey for that reason. So I'll put honey in my grain. So that way, if I switch grain, there's still that nutrient in there that it's looking for. That it's got the enzymes to already attack it or eat it, or whatever you want to call it. I think that's how it works. That's my understanding.
It is. It develops enzymes to digest whatever it's on. And if you confuse it, it's got to learn it. That's all. But I mean, if you're talking about mixing two different kinds of grain in the same bag, like for instance, birdseed, because that's a variety of different things, it depends. I like millet and milo mixed together. And the reason why is because I like millet. But the problem is that it's very small. It gets contaminated easy because you can easily overcook it. It's delicate. It's like when you cut it with Milo and you do like a 50-50, there gives you two different things. One, the Milo holds the hydration better than the millet does because of its size. And then there's a disparity in the surface area when they're mixed together like that, which gives, pockets and cavities and things like that for the mycelium to colonize, But if you're talking about going from one grain to another, yeah, you're confusing it because it doesn't know how to digest it. So what you should do is, depending on where your mycelium came from, if it's, for instance, on agar, then you should use a full spectrum of, grain water in order to create your agar recipe. So like you would be boiling corn, boiling millet, boiling Milo, and then using, skimming off the water and then using that to add to your agar recipe in order to train it. And you'd split it 3 ways or 4 ways. You can do that. You can train it with water. Basically, the point of that is.
Yeah. When I started using grain water, man, I fucking love that thing. Just I've had solid results, and I guess training the genetics, right? Day and night difference, I feel. And my buddy, I have seen him mix. I think it was like corn and brown rice, corn and whatever he can get his hands on.
I
More
think
than
that
anything,
I don't think there's going to be a big difference in the amount of training that it needs to go from one grain to another. Really, they're all basically the same thing. Some will be higher in carbs, and others lower in carbs, higher in fat, and the other one, whatever protein. It's just the
And
combination
hydrate,
that makes
and the
it.
capability to hold hydration.
Yeah, its ability to hold hydration. And basically, corn is going to be the same exact nutrients as oats. If they're both coming from grass and they're both grass seed, they're just a different species.
I
One's
think
going to
his
have
issue
more
with
of
its
this.
I think his issue with it stalling out is more that
Yeah.
if he's using the same genetics and he's just he's changing it up too
That's what
quick.
I'm saying. Like stalling out. What do you mean by stalling out? Like it's dying? It's stopping? It's stopping growth?
it stops colonizing, and then there's just a random like circle of just grain that's just not colonized on his jars.
Then that's probably a contamination of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be stumping too. If you're not shaking and breaking at the right time because of a mechanical problem, then that mic as it's growing is pissing in that bag or jar, and then it can sump. So if you get a wet spot in the grain, it'll avoid that completely because that part is overhydrated. And that really comes down to whether or not, like your previous question is, when should you shake and break, et cetera, and all that. And you can kind of avoid that when you get better at it. It's a delicate balance, really.
That makes sense because he was having issues, or he wasn't letting his grains dry long enough before he would go back to the PC. Fuck, I really wish he was here so he can listen to this shit because I tell him, but he just still does his own thing.
That type of stuff also, I think, is like a cop out. Like, oh, it was too wet, right? Well, why was that wet? Whatever it is that's too wet inside your bag, how is it not sterile still? So if it's sterile, it should have no problem. Does that make sense? It's like I feel like people are blaming their technique on outside factors, especially when it comes to sterilization. Because true, you might have upped your risk to contaminate, but at the same time, you shouldn't be contaminated at all. You know, you shouldn't have any bacteria in there or extra water in there that has bacteria in it. If that makes sense. I've had soaked grains, and as long as you avoid anything ever touching the filter and it's inoculated, it'll grow like it's a liquid filter in this thing. You know.
Yeah,
We
be
make liquid
spraying your
filters every
filters
day.
with H2O2 peroxide on
Yeah.
your filters before you shake and break. I mean, we nipped that in the bud a while ago. That's definitely like a hidden problem.
You have to have your bags folded. If you're not going through the top, your bags are folded. Because guess what? See this bag, guys? I can take off these clips. This is sterile. All of this, if it comes right out of the pressure cooker, all of that is. I'm not even worried about opening this all the way and it contaminating because it's got all those folds it has to go through. It's not going to contaminate. So when I open this, it's sterile. When I close it, it's sterile. It doesn't ever get the chance. It's like when people use injection ports, right? Injection ports are not self-healing. There's no such thing. There's a little tiny hole that easily fits a million little bacterials and microbes through it that can get into your grain when you shake it after you've injected through your hole.
Yeah,
When
I've
it starts to grain,
got grain bags at the minute that are literally sat in fucking water. So
Yeah.
I don't think being
Doesn't
too
matter.
wet. I mean, yeah, look, I'll switch my camera on now. You can see it. Oh,
Yeah.
how do I spin that fucker?
I can't see.
Hold on, there we go. You see it?
Yeah, there you go. And see,
Literally sitting in water.
it can create an issue if your grains are burst. So the reason why it creates an issue when your grains are burst is because there's all sorts of enzymes that are in the grain that are created when your mycelium digests it, and it pisses out those enzymes and it creates a low pH, and that's toxic to mycelium because everything becomes too acidic. That's what happens in all-in-one bags. People think it's bacteria, and that's what that smell is. That's actually not contamination. That's just a low pH. That was your mycelium turning itself into an acid, and that's a reaction that can happen. But generally, it can be wet, right? As long as it's not bursted and it's not eating all those enzymes at the same time. But too many bursted grains will cause that to happen. But just having overhydrated grain isn't going to cause that issue.
Has anyone else got any questions?
I got a question about flash hydration. What do you guys think about flash hydrating your grains?
It's the only way. It's the only way.
Okay. I just recently
That's the only
started
way
flash
I've done it for
hydrating.
years. Yeah.
So
What
I
grain are
started
you
flash
using?
hydrating. I'm sorry. I started flash hydrating my Milo, and not only does it cut down time like crazy, I was just thinking about when I would boil it, when I would, all the everything that it releases, it gets all sticky. I'm like, damn, all that's still in the bag then. All that is still in there. And does that help out the mycelium and its growth?
What do you mean?
But,
Say it again.
so when I flash hydrate my Milo now, I was remembering to when I would boil my Milo, strain it, it would be all sticky because it releases what is all those sugars and all the what are they called? I guess like starches or whatever. Now all that is still in the bag, but that only helps the mycelium, right? Because now I'm not letting it go; it's still in the bag.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably there's gonna be less nutrients after you steep it. Of course, it's like basically anything that you're straining off of that force hydrated grain is a tea, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna take some of it with it, but it's not gonna make a difference. I don't think that it matters what grain you use, whatever one has more nutrients, blah, blah, blah. It's all going to be the same. Your genetics, as long as you're not giving it too little of grain, it's going to be able to yield its maximum potential no matter what. Based off the genetics that you're running. That's why with something like Enigma or still water, I like to go much higher on my ratios because I know that these genetics are going to basically grow until there's nothing left in the substrate.
Okay.
But at the same time, they usually take longer, so you want to make sure you're extra hydrated. Because you're going to have less hydration, less sub equals less water.
Yeah, last time I was here, I remember somebody said, I think I had asked a question about if you guys rehydrate your cakes or dunk them, and I just recently packed tubs now, and I feel like I was slightly overhydrated my sub because I didn't want to dunk them anymore. I didn't want to drop water because it made sense what you guys said last week. If you have to rehydrate, that means it's not really properly hydrated to begin with. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna see how this tub comes out now. Just because having to dunk a tub or having to uh, drop water in it after you get your first flush, I feel like that just opens the door to so much contamination, possible contamination. But
You can add water to a tub, but you just don't want it. You don't want the cake sitting in freestanding water because then it becomes bacterial. But there's nothing wrong with, I know Matt. He puts water in his bags. I mean, I put water in my tubs, and we dump them out. We don't let it freestand.
Yeah.
If it
I
needs
always
it.
mist down the walls. Mist down the walls if they're dry. As it's growing at any stage. If it's dry on one side, I mist it down. Usually, that happens. Bags sometimes probably 50% of my bags will get a quick spritz in it during the grow, the first flush, and then all of them will get a good soaking with a spray bottle after the first flush. So
see, for the second flush onwards, for me, I submerge the cakes minimum 12 hours, usually overnight.
I did the same thing in the bag.
I'm trying to get as much
Add
moisture
water
back into that
directly in the
cake as
bag.
possible, because from my understanding, shrooms are what, like 90 something percent water weight. So
90.
obviously you want as much moisture back in that cake as possible, right, to get out a full second flush and so forth.
So one thing that I've always done, or something that I taught back in the day, that it's funny because Matt brought it up the other day that this is what he does, but he says he weighs how much he took out of the cake, and then rehydrates that with a syringe. And I'd always go less because you got to consider the amount of fiber that's coming out and the weight, right? That extra 10% of the weight. But injecting it with a syringe in random places, I'd usually go with like 100 mils to 150 milliliters of water. So it's like 10 syringes, and sometimes that overhydrates it, honestly. So you'd be surprised how much water is taken out, but then the amount that's actually needed for it to be hydrated again. Because a lot of that is spent through energy, burning the calories, and then the fiber that's being taken also from the fruits on top of the water. And yeah, it definitely doesn't need the full amount that you just took out. Every time I've done that, it's been too much and my cake becomes mud. But
yeah, I go a little bit under. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a little bit under, and then you're good.
And then I'll drain any excess if there is any, or if there's any standing water on the top, I'll kind of just guide it down the side and drain it out too. And
yeah, you're using the syringe though, right? The needle.
Yeah, I have been doing that on a couple of them just to kind of push the weight a little, even during the first flush. Just seeing what it does. But also, I've been testing out different cocoa, and I'm using cocoa that I really don't like at the moment, so that kind of sucks. But
Which one is that?
It's like one of the big suppliers. I don't know if it's Micropros. I don't know. They had a deal on some. I'll look and check those. They had a deal, and I got it, and yeah, got fucking 2 kilos of the shit, and I just don't like it.
Whoa. Damn.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm pretty good at keeping my sub really consistent and like not letting the bottom be so much more wet than the top and things like that. But this last run with this sub was like I have some bags that are clearly too dry and then other ones that are clearly too wet. Like total opposite ends of the spectrum. And I've never had that happen.
Yeah,
it's not homogenized really well. Maybe the husk is not, the core and the husk is like separating because the husk won't take as much hydration.
Yeah, maybe like 2 different textures of cocoa. Like
Yeah, exactly.
I noticed, it like some parts maybe absorbed more just because of the texture of it. Like it's almost impossible to get it perfect.
There's ways you can hydrate your tub. Like you can give it its own drink that it can drink of as it grows. You guys ever heard of that? We have a reservoir.
Yeah, I've seen like the things you put in plants, like that little ball, that glass
Yeah, the
ball.
bulb.
I've seen those. Yeah, the bulb.
It's
Yeah.
very similar to that. So all you need though is just a drinking straw. You need to stab it in there and pull it out so that that chunk that you took out is no longer there. It's just hollow, a hollow hole. And then you can put a tube in there with whatever. You can use one of the plant things. Yeah, it works. People used to do that with their BRF cakes back in the day. They just have the straw.
I've seen
And they
that.
would fill that up every day.
Now that you say
They
that,
drink
I've
it.
seen that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's one of those things that we just don't mess around with anymore. But honestly, why not?
If that's the
Especially
way
if
you
you're doing
want
a
to do
small
it,
grow.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Especially if you're doing a
Like
small grow.
if you're gonna do spore, and you don't do agar work, I mean, what are you gonna fucking do, right?
Yeah, you're gonna fucking grow some spores outside.
Yeah, man.
Let's go
BRF.
put some spores on. The first time I actually ever attempted to grow shrooms, I was like way young. I got some off of and I was very unsuccessful. But this is like back in 1999 when Arrowwood was. You guys remember Arrowwood? Y'all know what Arrowwood is? Arrowwood's still
Oh
there.
yeah,
It's like
yeah, yeah.
it's
Yeah,
old school, dude. It hasn't changed since 1999. It's still the same style of website. I swear to God, nothing's even fucking changed.
Believe it.
Arrowwood is I got some spores from somebody, and he was from Oregon. At least he told me they were spores, but they were Liberty Cap spores. And I just went outside and put them on the horse shit, and they didn't grow. But no one knew what the fuck to do back then. Like, why would you sell somebody Liberty Cap spores anyways? You can't grow them inside. Well, you can. We know now, but back then,
You got to go knock a cow pasture, you know?
they probably weren't even fucking anything. Probably lied to me. Probably ripped me off, man.
It was fucking pepper or some shit.
Dude, I've been wanting to grow shrooms since I was like a baby. Swear to God, I was like, dude, you can eat those things? And I had like this like mission to like find them for the whole fucking life. And then I finally did, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the shit.
Look at that ocean, bro.
I was tripping out, dude. I was tripping out my first time I took shrooms. Tripping
I
very
was
hard.
tripping out on this morning.
You
Smells
were
good.
tripping. Oh, I ate young guy last. I ate some youngest fungus. Let's see. There's the fucking goddamn scale. There's the youngest funguses.
Everybody's gonna want this. Look how blue that shit is.
It's tiny. It's a miniature. Oh, it broke. It's gone. There's some.
Yeah, that stuff breaks down into practically nothing, right?
Yeah. We're
Zeke.
behind.
Yeah. How was the young guy?
Oh, it's fungi. It's the youngest
Yeah.
fungus. Yeah,
How
dog.
was
It's
it?
good.
I need
I had a good
details.
time.
I need a
Me and
trip
my
report.
homie. Well, so the dude who's the main guy over the spot who brought me in, he came over last night because we're finally done with the first step, right? And he was just excited. He brought a bottle of Jameson and some Stellas. He had some loose women come over here in this big mess. And they shook their bottoms. I didn't get involved. Honestly, I swear to God, whatever. I'm on shrooms. But yeah, I hooked up
Look
with
at
the
this
homie who
Dallas
works here with me
sunset.
with some fucking things. We tripped out. We freestyled.
You freestyled. Oh
I was
shit.
freestyling all night in front of the flow hood, bro.
Look, I already told Mike that we gotta get in there. We gotta get in there. We need to do some mycological themed music.
Dog, that's what I was doing last night. It was all brothers. I was the only white person. And they were like, he's fucking flowing. I was like, that's right. I told them that I represent the BDG.
Hell yeah. Look, our first song is gonna be called BDG or Die.
BDG or die.
BDG
Yeah.
for life.
Yeah.
Like this, BDG or get cooked.
Right. It's gonna be our gang initiation album.
If you want to listen to it, you got to get jumped in, right?
Let's do it.
Oh, check it out. I got my BDD shirt in my hand. Who's got questions?
Oh, he's going to put a shirt on.
Big dick gang, my buddy.
BDG.
I'm
Get
like
him on that
freezing up.
Culture Cave store. You guys got to visit our Culture Cave store. We got an app now.
There's an app?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll float it.
Good.
Come and visit my Insta.
I just really made a new
BDG.
Insta like right before I jumped on here. Also, by the way, it's just
All
called
right, we'll
it's
get
just
it going.
Doomnaddy, Doomnaddy, DOONNADDY.
Yeah, we'll get nuked again. But stay tuned, you know.
I'm not gonna. I think that like someone I heard someone saying something about like advertising shit. I'm not gonna advertise anything, and I'm done talking shit on people's mothers. No more scuba
I saw
diving.
that fucking Instagram. I was fucking laughing.
No, you're
That's what I'm
not.
saying, man. It's like if you have a mother and she likes scuba diving, I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'll do better from now on.
So what? You guys all had your Instagrams nuked, did you?
Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It happens.
And
Haters gonna hate. If someone's hating on you, then you're doing something.
Well, that's
Exactly.
the thing, man. Like, how do people like even though, like I'm literally in every post talking shit on the people who are reporting my posts, and when it's like and it's rude. I'm talking about their moms. That's like not that's not funny, right? Does that mean you continue to be a snitch? No, that means like, dude, he's right. Like I'm too worried about this guy competing with me. Maybe I should compete with myself a little bit, you know? Because that's the trick and it's the difference, you know? You can't fucking worry about it, what everybody else is doing. And if somebody's doing something right, you congratulate. You know what I mean? Appreciate it. Don't hate.
Absolutely.
Made it back,
Yeah,
comrades.
we should all be trying to raise each other up, not just knock each other down.
Right. Stop
Yeah.
that hating bullshit.
Nobody's
Exactly.
taking the whole cake. No one's taking the whole cake. You got no one's that fucking good. You know what I mean? You're gonna get as good as you are. That's what you're gonna get. What you're gonna receive, and whether that's you're good in this aspect, you're good in that aspect. Everybody has things that they're strong at, and everybody can utilize and capitalize on all those fucking things. You don't need to be jealous. You don't need to worry about somebody else figuring out something that you didn't, so that you're fucking mad about it, and you gotta fucking try to get them banned, thinking that it's gonna fucking help you. Because guess what, dude? You never worked on yourself to begin with. You're not gonna get big benefit from it. You're only hurting yourself. It's karma.
Tell them
Here
to
you go.
fucking
Look,
do better.
Slick Purple's got a question for you. So,
Tell them to
what
might go
advice would you
harder.
give someone trying to create new and novel strains? And have you found collaborations or partnerships to be valuable?
Dude, yeah, I started teaching my shit 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and naturally it created a community. And I've got a million partners now. Not a million. I've got a lot of people who I do things with. Um, Definitely, it's beneficial because then when somebody gets mad at you and hates on you, guess what? You got all these dope people to have your back. So that's always good. Good for credibility as long as you're trying to stay relevant.
So in other words, he has a cult.
Yeah, I have a cult.
BDG.
We've all got our own cults. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to have a cult. It's just a gang. It's just a
Yeah.
fraternity gang.
We're the world's first Michael cult.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about. I think there's probably some mushroom cults over the years, but crossing new and novel strains. Yeah, I'd say find 2 strains that you see qualities that you like, that you appreciate in each individual strain. Right. I'm very, very picky about what I breed with, and I know what I'm looking for because I guess I have an eye for it. But
How do you go about finding the quality that you want, though? Chasing that? I find it. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
So, for example, I saw leucistic swamp ghost. I grew it several times. It was the shittiest, weakest, most nasty culture, but I loved how green the fruits were. And then I've obviously I'm like thinking I want something this color that's as pretty as this aesthetic is that's on the skin of this mushroom, right? And so I said, but I need to make it strong. And what did I have at the time that I was running a lot of? It was steel magnolia and an isolation called the beer can cut. And I was like, it was just huge, healthy, fast, potent shrooms, right? I mixed them together after remonokaryotypization. So that's the trick. From the parent, if you want to keep those recessive traits and you don't want to have the risk of losing it and going back to something that you have to hunt for pheno-wise, meaning you isolate your mods through a spore, you want to attain symmetrical recovery. You want to break the dikaryon that is the culture you want to breed to. So now you can literally single out those individual traits, which are in LSG's case, it was the green skin. And you can definitely insert those into the strain by doing certain things when you're breeding it and when you're creating and stabilizing the strain. And I bred it with steel magnolia because it was so strong and so vigorous, it just worked out perfect. From the F0, first grow of it was the first grow of Hellhound, which was like, oh my god, people lost fucking mind. People loved it. People still love it. Hellhound's awesome. It does so much.
So do you ever do a cross and you don't like the traits that is carried through?
Never once.
That you always find the traits that you're looking for, because that's the part you know when you are cloning. How do you know you're on the right track to cloning the right qualities?
So when you're cloning from a cross, you're just cloning the same. It's going to be the same isolation no matter what because it's the same dikaryon that you cloned, right? When you clone the twins, it's basically just making those brooding genetics stronger. But what I've noticed is when you have something, say a landrace crossed with something domesticated, each generation you clone, you get something that's completely different than the generation before on your F0s. But it's also what's happening is you can take a really shitty culture, right? And you could attain symmetrical recovery. Say you have something that's not shitty, like it has the qualities and the attributes that you like, say Toke 9, right? Toke 9 is very slow. It's got a finicky immune system. Definitely experiencing homozygosity because so many generations of stabilizing it, meaning you're breeding the siblings to the siblings to the siblings so many times that you're turning it into this mutant thing that is just that mutant thing. It's Toke, right? And then I have Indian Graveyard, which is kind of the same thing. I've gone so many generations to make it so that even from spore now it produces that spiral flower mutation. Both of them very slow. Both of them have crazy cool qualities. A lot of the times these strains are really potent, right? But as what I did is I symmetrically recovered from both of those, bred them together. Now all of a sudden I have something that's brand spanking new. Okay, and that's Smokey the Ghost. Smokey the Ghost is not a weak immune system. Smokey the Ghost is not slow. Smokey the Ghost still is potent. It gets rid of all the attributes that you didn't like, and it reinforces all the attributes that you did like back into one mushroom. Smokey the Ghost gets a 10 out of 10 on all five check marks. And how did that happen though? Because I didn't go back to spore. A lot of people say you have to go back to spore in order to make your strain vigorous again. Is that really what's happening though? Because you can take that same strain without going back to spore, just cross it to something else, and now you've got something vigorous. Is it? And I don't know the answer to that. I'm thinking that it's probably because there's a redistribution of genetics, even though that's weird to me because the nucleus haven't fused yet. They haven't exchanged genetic information other than through anastomosis, which might be enough, really, because we're talking about the mushroom, right? Unless you guys understand reproduction, I probably make no sense. So I'm just going to stop talking. Something happens when you remonokaryotize a culture, and that is all of the junk that builds up inside your culture that makes us think we need to start over and what we call senescence, right? Is what happens is that it offloads all that nasty junk that's that mitochondrial crap, and it starts over because you've separated it and you've starved it. It's basically like when a human fasts or an animal fasts, it cleans out all the old parts of ourselves. It's called fuck, what's it called? Anyways, that's what happens to your cells and your mushrooms when you starve them for a little bit. And all the new alleles that have gone in there that are fucking shit up that are creating these really slow mutant strains, you restart. And I just really learned this yesterday by digging deep into some shit. And then now I was just asking the question during the last class, why is it that I'm able to cross two super slow strains together, and when I use remonokaryotization, it gets rid of all those old attributes and it's vigorous again? Remember, guys, I asked that question?
Yeah, that's what I kind of, from obviously what I've looked into on it, they normally bring the land races into, that's when they'll bring a land race in to try and speed the genetics back up again. But
yeah,
so
you can do that.
My thing is, how do you know that you're taking the right traits? That, I think that's the part that, you know, when you say you like this part out of it and this part out of it, how do you know, or is there a time when you don't get what you're looking for?
So I'll use dogs as an example. Let's say that you breed, I want to breed this German Shepherd to this pit bull because it's going to give it a big head and it's going to look like this and it's going to look like this, and you breed it together, and then all of a sudden every puppy is completely different. Like the strain is not stable. It's going to have some will have more of this or less of that, and it's not a pure breed, right? Because
So then
it
it takes
hasn't gone through meiosis several times, right? So that meiosis is when it's the same thing that happens inside the womb. It happens inside of the basidium of a mushroom when it's producing its offspring. It redistributes the genetics into each individual spore so that everything's random. So that way evolution can happen. Natural selection can occur, and it can continuously get better versus being asexual and just cloning itself, right?
Yeah.
When you grow out this mushroom, right, that's your F0, normally your F0 should have all the qualities that you wanted in the parents in the first place because it's the F0. It's just both of them combining. It hasn't gone back to spore yet. They're still exhibiting the straight traits from this parent that were so strong already, and this parent, the traits from this parent that were strong that made you choose to use it in the first place because it's the F0.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically, you have to look at it like this: like a mushroom is two monokaryons holding hands building a house so that they can have a bedroom in the gills, which is the basidium where they reproduce. Okay, that's what a mushroom is. A mushroom is not the organism. A mushroom is an expression. It's the courtship, right? It's the dance that they're fucking having before they fuck. It to put it nicely.
Yeah.
When they have children, it's going to be like that German Shepherd and that pit bull, right? There's going to be your F1. If you guys have an F1 where every mushroom is the same expression, the same strain phenotype, you never cross strains. It didn't happen. Sorry to break it to you, it's not a true cross, and you just cloned one of the mushrooms that you thought were going to do the thing. Is what's going to happen in your F1 is you're going to see all sorts of different. You're going to see squats. You're going to see long, skinny ones. You're going to see green ones. You're going to see blue ones. You're going to see brown ones. It's going to give you a whole variety of mushrooms. Some of those traits aren't even in either of the parents. It's just part of the process through meiosis because it's digging deep into its genetic library and waking up old genes and all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because now there's variability because you just crossed two new strains. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clone one of those mushrooms and I'm going to put it on a plate. I'm going to let it grow another mushroom. I'm going to get spores from that. And I'm not even going to grow it out. But I'm going to clone the one that looks like my LSG parent that I used to cross, right? And at the same time, I'm going to clone one that was more dominantly Steel Magnolia. Okay? So that Steel Magnolia represents the Steel Magnolia parent. It has to say it had the thick stem, it grew fast, and it was just really meaty. That's the one that I cloned for Steel Magnolia. The green one, the most green mushroom in the first flush on the F1 is the one that I clone and take back to spore. Then I do it again. That same process in the F2. And by the time I'm at F3, I'm going to notice there's only those two that are popping up. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to remonokaryotize that mushroom. I'm going to clone it a couple times, make sure that it's really stable and it's really green. And then I'm going to remonokaryotize it, symmetrical recovery, right? I'm going to take those haploids and I'm going to breed them back to the leucistic swamp ghost parent. So now I'm locking in the same way you breed a dog. When you take it's called a father-daughter mating. You have to inbreed a dog if you want to breed that dog.
So you're doing the original cross, and then you're then returning back, finding what you want, almost chasing what you want, and then you're then breaking that back down and breeding it back to itself again.
To itself that has those same traits, yes. And that way I lock in those traits first time. Okay, now I'm 75%. Okay. 75% LSG, 25% Steel Magnolia. Okay, that's Dick Dog. Dick Dog was never meant to be a strain. Dick Dog grew out on the plate, and my heart exploded because I was like, oh my god, the color. which is exactly what I wanted. So I bred the LSG because it was so green back to its well, I bred Hellhound, the super green Hellhound, back to its LSG parent, and I got a super meaty LSG, right? That's Dick Dog. And then I did the same thing with the Steel Magnolia.
No, that makes sense. Yeah,
but check it out. This is what happens. So you do the same thing to Steel Magnolia and Hellhound, you got 75% Steel Magnolia. I'm going to take those back to spore, do the same thing, clone, looking for those same characteristics, clone again, at F3, remonokaryotize both of them, then breed them back together. Now I have Hellhound 100% again, except I'm at F0, which is important. You need that F0 because F0 is better than everything else. And the other thing that's cool about it is it's now stable because it's gone through meiosis 4 times than it would have naturally through however many filial generations. And it's healthy. You kept the bigger because you haven't been breeding a sibling to a sibling to a sibling to a sibling. It's infinitely better.
I see what you mean now. When you were saying about the siblings earlier, I now get what you mean by they just keep breeding it back to itself or its siblings.
So you broke up right there.
Yeah, I now get what you mean by when you were saying earlier about they were like take Toke, for example, you're just breeding it back to its siblings. I get what you mean now.
Yeah. And that's why Hellhound is called Hellhound, because there was a dog breeding program that I implied and incorporated to breeding mushrooms. And it turned out to be, in my opinion, just as important as figuring out how to remonokaryotize and isolate with water.
So someone's just asked a question there. What's the best way to do that? To go, I don't know if I'm too stoned to say the word, whatever it is.
The best way to do it is to join the class. Is to join my class, honestly. I mean, I have videos on my YouTube that you can go through, and I give it to everybody. It's all for free. You're not going to be able to interact and learn the same way you would in the class, obviously. But it is all there. I mean, I tell people if I can give you everything that I've learned, and you can't figure it out, I'm sorry, because I figured this shit out of nothing. I figured out nothing. So you guys can do it. It's all on my YouTube, or you can join the class, and then it's hands-on, and you get to ask questions and be involved. So.
I'll add in as well is Moon's YouTube tutorials are very dead easy to understand. I learned a lot from them when I was first starting out.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'd love to hear that.
Any other questions out there? Where are you driving to, Zeke? Because that view was unreal.
Man. Thank you. I was leaving Dallas from a video shoot. Actually, I was on the call during the video shoot the whole time. But you guys definitely touched on some interesting points, but I couldn't focus on everything like I wanted to.
Hey, Slick Purple answered my question. Autophagy is the word I was looking for. That happens when you're fasting. Basically, put your cells into a state of autophagy, autophagy, whatever you want to call it.
Bro, okay, so I learned what autophagy was from this this video game. It's called Plague Inc., and it's basically where you like design a virus to take over the whole world.
You got to fucking fast to kill the virus or what?
Yeah, so like the whole goal is you start off with the virus, right? And then it starts off as like a single celled amoeba, doesn't really do much. And you slowly like upgrade it over the course of the game into you want to make it break down into like full apocalypse, like it destroy the world, right? But like you can add traits that like cause people to like eat their own flesh. It's called autophagy. Or like turn people into zombies essentially, or just like avian flu style. And over the course of the game, it'll tell you like what viruses across human history you've become stronger than. So like there's a certain point where you reach like stronger than the Black Plague. You know, you've damaged this many people or killed this many people. It's pretty neat. Yeah. And it's like, it's pretty much just a map and it shows how much you cover over the world.
That's a trip. That is a trip, bro.
Yeah. I think it's a phone game.
Huh?
It's a phone game.
Oh, it's on my phone?
Yeah, you can get it on the phone.
I haven't played video games since 9th grade.
Yeah. There's no time now. We have shit to do. We have hobbies. We could be pouring plates.
Look at that
Yeah,
smoke.
that's what I mean. Have you guys ever saw contamination that hides?
What you got there, Mike?
What you got there, Mike?
You were talking about smoke. Yeah, you were talking about smoky before, and I just got some in my hand, and it's just so fucking beautiful.
It is.
It's so
It's kind
perfect.
of giving a little bit of MVP.
The stick too. Me.
Yeah, I bet Smokey's been really fucking cool. It's like it became my favorite for a period, but like I have to go back. Like Stillwater, like how did I forget about Stillwater? So I remember when Stillwater came out, I was like telling everybody this is the best mushroom world's ever fucking seen. And then for some reason I was like, man, I didn't show it enough love because Stillwater is the best mushroom to grow. If you want, in my opinion, like if you're growing commercial and you want to keep the best of everything, right? All the good attributes of a mushroom, if you want to keep them. So it's not the main thing is that you're going to get a lot of weight and it doesn't take too long. You see that?
No, I see the ceiling. Oh, you're frozen again. But
I think I cloned one yesterday.
Mute your camera. Mute your camera. Mute your camera again.
Super green fruits in here. And I think that this is Creature 385 because I lost my 385, and then this one
Your
says
camera's
801.
froze, Moon. Your camera's froze.
How about
there you go.
So I lost my 385. I don't know where it is, and I lost my 801. And then I grew out twins on this 801 plate, and it looks like 385. So I think that this is somebody got them mixed up when they sent them back to me. But look at this, like it looks like a bunch of bugs on there.
What is that? Is that pins trying to come through? What is that?
Yeah, those are twins. Primordia, shitload of them.
My dead 385. Kind of almost looks the same.
And then they've got big old fruits growing with these little tiny babies. I can't see you at all, Mike.
Get booted. Oh, there we go. Is that better?
No.
I can see you on the camera.
You can't?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
I can't.
There's
I can't see either one of you guys. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, either one of you guys.
No, try now.
It just glitched out.
Am I good?
Yeah, I see you.
Oh, I can't see. I'll leave and come back.
Anyways.
So what you got there, Moon? What you working on there?
Oh shit, I'm working on getting everybody's orders out because I got my Instagram deleted and I got thrown the fuck off and just have to reorganize, go through everything and trying to get it all back in place. I'm late on everything. But as far as what I'm working on, this is that MSW Pan Cyan that Gordo won the Cultivar Cup with this year, as you remember. It's from Malaysia. Swabbed it for the class and then isolated some moms. So I've got haploids of this bad boy that I'm going to be breeding with. I've got a few monokaryons that I isolated through symmetrical recovery of the young guy, somewhere around here. So I'm going to breed. I'm going to start a cross too tonight. I've done pan crosses. I've done a lot of them, but I've never grown them out. So I'm making that a goal to grow out a pan cyan cross. And I think that it'll learn a lot too.
You was doing pans in bags, weren't you?
Yeah, I do pans and bags.
What's that?
Well, you train them the same way you do cubes. People said it was impossible, and I'm like, so there's a video. It's funny where I'm doing. This takes place. I think that it's like 16 months ago where I made this video, but I'm basically giving a tutorial on how to grow in bags. Right? I'm telling you how to make your bag, and in the tutorial, I say, wouldn't it be cool if in 8 to 10 years we're growing TTBBI in bags. And then it was funny because I forgot that I even said that. But like after there was a lot of controversy when I was first dropping pictures on Reddit and stuff, you know, it shouldn't be controversial. It is what it is.
Is that everything's when it comes to mycology, everything seems to become controversial, doesn't it? Everyone's got their own way, and everyone thinks that they're right. That's the thing.
I think that it's funny because people were like accusing me of faking the pictures. I'm like, okay, like what I just like.
That's wild in itself. Yeah, I've gone to the extreme of just
some TTBI and stabbed them into the. Yeah, that never happened, by the way. But it's funny because it was only 16 months later that I was doing it, and not 8 to 10 months. I'm not saying I was the first person to do it. I definitely don't know of anybody who did it before me, but it probably is. You know, people like other people tell me I'm not the first person. I'm claiming to be the first. No, I'm not. But show me someone else who did it first, did it before me. I'd like to know just because. It is what it is. It's fairly easy. Pans in a lot of ways are easier to work with and train than a lot of cubes are. Cubes that aren't bag ready seem to be very difficult to make bag ready. They're usually prepared to grow in a bag, at least somewhat, right? And then from there you can isolate them, make them do their thing fairly easily, just through cloning. But pans are TTBBI was a dream come true. It's so easy. And then the results that you get the same benefits from growing them in a bag that you would a cube. You get all sorts of different morphologies. You get I feel like a little bit better yield and a little bit higher potency with less maintenance.
So when you was doing your bags, then was you doing those with worm castings?
Yeah, doing all the same worm castings, casing.
It's interesting. Yeah, I haven't given pans a go yet. Mainly just because I'm set up for cubes, and moving over to pans it just seems like too much work for what they are. I don't like the look of them either, if I'm honest. Everyone goes on about them, and I just look at them and think it's just not for me. I just don't know. Yeah,
there's some of them are just like like pretty much everything that's came from the USA, like America, is just like, and that goes with any mushroom. If they just turn me off, it's like the USA's got so much good shit, but when it comes to mushrooms, we just ain't got it, man. I think that the Australian species, there's like the eucalyptus one, the rainbow one, that's one to get lost in, that pan cyan. Some of the Goliaths, the Komodos are really pretty. The young guy's beautiful. The young guy's beautiful. That when I first saw the young guy though, I was like, are those fucking cute? Right? When Chica sent me the picture. And no,
I don't think I've seen them.
Oh, they got the red spores, they're white, dude. They're even the plins. I've got some plins growing right now, and they're like orange translucent. They're beautiful. And I'll show you a picture. I'll post one in the chat right now of some youngest fungus.
Homies, I gotta roll.
Where you going, bro?
I gotta go take care of your kids.
Take care of the kids, bro.
Take it easy, bro.
Take it easy, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for hosting, man.
Always.
Hit me if you guys need anything, okay?
Take it easy, Mike.
Catch you later.
Okay. Here they are. There's some young guy.
Oh yeah, those red gills are sick.
Yeah. They're actually probably a new species from what I understand.
Oh, are they?
But the ones that Chica sent me, so he grew his in the open air at first, and I'll show you those ones from the F0 from the parent culture been found in the wild.
What's going on, everybody?
How you doing, mate?
I just made it in. Spending a little time with the family, cooking on the grill. Sorry for making it so late.
That's all good. It happens. Gotta eat. Gotta feed the kids.
That's right. See, I was posting on earlier. I was like, well, it looks like cannabis ain't the only thing getting smoked tonight. They want me to fire the grill up.
Shit, that's right. That's awesome.
Hey, Noob, what you got going on?
What's up?
How you doing?
What's up?
What are you doing? Some transfers?
Yeah, dude. I got to transfer everything that Hive sent me.
Oh, what did he send? This is from last week, is it?
I seen that earlier, like a massive stack.
This is his winnings from last week, Moon.
Let me see. I'm just sending that. That's a picture of the young guy that Chica first sent. What's up? Where are we at?
Noob's on. He's just doing some transfers of the winnings that he got from Highfield.
What did y'all get? I can't see. I can't read them. It won't let me zoom in. What do you got?
Call them out, Noob. What are they? I can't fucking see them.
Yeah, it doesn't let me zoom in. It's not.
It doesn't let you just pick one either. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't hear us. The boy's deaf.
I can barely hear anybody.
Who's talking? Who's that?
I need to get my headphones on. Hold on.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, get some headphones on. Because I can't see them for shit.
You can't what?
I can't read them. It's like a small little square.
Well, it's that was Heifels.
Komodo Red for that one. Yeah, I could read that one.
Okay, hold on. I'll redo it.
Yeah.
What was some of those others?
Yeah, I've got. That was a fun one to grow. Actually, I have transfers of it right here.
What's that? Paja Cross Universe, is that?
Not a clue. We're gonna find out though.
Yeah.
Like I said, these aren't my labels. My labels are a little bit bigger.
Paja Crown. Wobbly Boot. There's the one. That's a good one.
F1 and F2 on it.
Grey Gill Tat. Grey Gill Tat in the chat.
God, how many plates are there, Nude?
You what?
How many plates were there?
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Damn. I thought hooked you up.
I got the hookup, bro. This is he calls it Soul Brander. Oh, right over here. But it's where's the camera? There it is.
Oh yeah, I see.
And then this one, he told me it was a Transcape blob.
Yeah, Q. What the fun guys? Isolated that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a really fucking cool communication. That's like one in a million. The chances of finding that thing is fucking insane.
Hold on, let me can't see shit. Hoping I can hear with this. You guys don't double hear me?
No, I can hear you.
All right. I figured I was it's really hard to be a part of chat when you have all these plates ready to be transferred.
You gotta work and talk.
Well, I don't have headphones, so it's hard to hear in front of the flow hood.
Yeah. That's if you're gonna do lives, you gotta get some decent headphones, especially if you're gonna do in front of the hood. or a decent
Oh,
mic.
jumping in. I just wanted to stay in the conversation.
Yeah. I think you should turn off the background noise. That can help. If your microphone lets you do that. I know that Discord has the option. I don't know about in these things, but I don't know how to get into it.
On my headphones, you can do it through the app on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
I
makes
don't
a big difference, especially on Discord.
If I had my, let me go see if I can find my headphones. I'll be back.
Yeah. What are you guys working on? Anybody doing anything fun?
It's just coming up 2:15 here. I'm just rolling my last joint.
Just rolling my last joint, right?
Smoking my last joint, mate.
Not Australian. Calm down.
just rolling my last joint, right? Cup of tea there.
I heard that
Stop
Australian. I thought
joint
somebody else had joined in.
You got your girlfriend joining in, did you say?
I said I heard that Australian accent. I thought somebody else done joined in.
No Australians today. I don't know where they're at.
You know, they're out messing around.
I heard that they do that. I heard that was a thing.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop while I'm ahead.
You're like, yeah, they do, actually. So it sucks when you're teaching people how to grow mushrooms, right? Because the consultation means you're teaching them everything in a certain amount of time.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
When they have to pour all these plates, you have them pour all the plates, they have to learn how to pour plates, right? And then at the same time, I'm using these plates for my business, and I don't have it, and I do a bunch of transfers because everything looks clean. I'm kind of in a hurry. Long story short, the next day is when the contamination showed up, and everything's fucking contaminated. How do you tell people who've been waiting for something to continue waiting?
That's what FedEx did to me with my VCure. It was supposed to be here Thursday, and then it got moved to today, and now it's going to be Monday.
Those motherfuckers. Federal Express. The fact that you pay like $200 to ship a package too.
It was high altogether. It was right at $1,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, and they're gonna take their sweet ass time.
Exactly.
They're probably collaborating with fucking terrorists.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. I bet that's what they're doing, right? Fucking.
And then see, the bad thing is, like, I've seen a bunch of videos and everything where people order the VCure, and you know it's got that glass door front, like they get it in, and them folks done drop kicked it and all this other shit, and done broke the glass out the front door and all kind of mess. So I'm terrified I'm gonna get this thing. It's gonna be beat to hell.
Oh yeah, it's beat to shit. I hope not. FedEx is usually really good at like taking care of shit. Like if you put fragile on the sticker on there, they generally like, okay, be careful. Whereas USPS, they're like, they see a fragile sticker, that means drop ticket.
Exactly. Yeah. Just the truck.
They're like, oh, fragile, huh? Like, I fucking hate this shit. Oh. It's like, damn, dude, that was like something important. They're like, don't use USPS then. That's where I'm at anymore. I'm like, oh, guess I'll start spending money at FedEx. Deal with their bullshit. I'm just kidding. You're not getting nothing shipped FedEx ever.
And the bad thing is, it's not but like an hour from my house right now. Or at least that's what the tracking's saying.
Oh, it is. It's there. They're just sitting there looking at it. They just don't want to. They don't want to do the work.
Exactly.
Yep. Fuck, man, that sucks. All these plates are dirty.
How did you end up sorting out a grow vanilla? Did you order yourself any grain or anything?
Are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about shrooms? Yeah, I ended up going with some Adam's apple because from what I looked at, it seemed like it would be the easiest one to run. First off, being new, doing it in a bag, and I think I went ahead and pulled the trigger. I got it today. I'm gonna try it first and try my hand at it. And if I do fairly decent with it, then I'm gonna get with Moon and get the Black Magnolia that me and him was talking about.
And
I
the
don't want
Black
to.
Magnolia grows itself too. So
What's
the
that?
thing with my strains, too, my strains, I won't sell anything that's not super fucking easy. Like,
Yeah.
unless if it's like a multi-generational thing like Indian Graveyard, which
Yeah. And
I
see
need
what
to
I.
consider that. Yeah, yeah. But no, that's awesome that you got. I'm not. Yeah, yeah. Adam's apple. I'm not quite sure I know what that is.
But
It's
I mean,
it's an isolation that Truman Beans, who's a part
That's
of our
Truman
server.
Beans, yeah.
It's
Nice.
his he's worked it for I think it's like 2 years.
I saw something called Adam's appendage recently. I wonder if that has anything to do with that. I
So
saw it.
I just grew out. If you look in the fruiting photos, I just took pictures of another creation that they have been working for a year. I was one of their testers. I think Unassuming got it as well.
The
Um,
Adam's appendage.
no, it's called Lucid Thrasher.
Oh, okay.
Is that the new one that he's been working?
Well, that's the one he told me he was going to send me something that he hadn't released yet, and that like I was going to be a part of one of the first people to grow it out because he wanted to grow it outside of his place, so that way he could see how other people got with it. So I just been sending him pictures all the time.
Yeah, that's smart. Right,
Yo, I'm
guys,
gonna
I'm
head
gonna have
off
to
now,
jump off.
guys.
Yeah, just said it at the same time. Yeah, it's just coming up like half 2. I've got to go.
Yeah,
But
same
take it
here.
easy. It's been good.
You guys have a good one.
Take care, bro.
Take it easy, fellas.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate you all, guys.
Everything,
Look
man.
forward to next weekend.
Yeah. I'm gonna take off too.
Take it easy,
All right,
guys.
later.
y'all have a good one.